pointing the arrow at him, and it looked like her arm might be growing tired. "I claim the big sword that fellow has on his back," Flatnose said. "Looks right about my size."
"I'll take the other two he's carrying."
This came from one with a scar that divided his face at a slight angle, crossing the bridge of his nose just high enough to save his eye. The girl aimed the point of her arrow at Royce.
"I want the little one's cloak. I'd look good in a fine black hood like that."
With deep-set eyes and sun-baked skin, the man closest to Hadrian appeared to be the oldest. He took a step closer and grabbed hold of Hadrian's horse by the bit. "Be real careful now. We've killed plenty of folks along this road. Stupid folks who didn't listen. You don't want to be stupid, do you?" Hadrian shook his head. "Good. Now drop them weapons," the thief said, "and then climb down."
"What do you say, Royce?" Hadrian asked. "We give them a bit of coin so nobody gets hurt?"
Royce looked over. Two eyes peered out from the hood with a withering glare.
"I'm just saying. We don't want any trouble, am I right?"
"You don't want my opinion," Royce said. "So, you're going to be stubborn." Silence. Hadrian shook his head and sighed. "Why do you have to make everything so difficult? They're probably not bad people, just poor. Taking what they need to buy a loaf of bread to feed their family. Can you begrudge them that? Winter is coming and times are hard." He nodded his head in the direction of the thieves. "Right?" "I ain't got no family," Flatnose replied. "I spend most of my coin on drink." "You're not helping," Hadrian said. "I'm not trying to. Either you two do as you're told, or we'll gut you right here." He emphasized this by pulling a long dagger from his belt and scraping it loudly against the blade of his sword. A cold wind howled through the trees, bobbing the branches and stripping away more foliage. Red and gold leaves flew, swirling in circles, buffeted by the gusts along the narrow road. Somewhere in the dark, an owl hooted.
"Look, how about we give you half our money? My half. That way this won't be a total loss for you."
"We ain't asking for half," the man holding his mount said. "We want it all. Right down to these here horses."
"Now, wait a second. Our horses? Taking a little coin is fine, but horse thieving? If you get caught, you'll hang. And we'll report this at the first town we come to."
"You're from up north, ain't you?"
"Yeah, left Medford yesterday."
The man holding his horse nodded, and Hadrian noticed a small red tattoo on his neck. "See, that's your problem." His face softened to a sympathetic expression that appeared more threatening by its intimacy. "You're probably on your way to Culnora. Nice city. Lots of shops. Lots of fancy rich folk. Lots of trading going on down there, and we get lots of people along this road carrying all kinds of stuff to sell to them fancy folk. But I'm guessing you ain't been south before, have you? Up in Mellingar, King Amrath goes to the trouble of having soldiers patrol the roads, but here in Warwick, things are done a bit differently." Flatnose came closer, licking his split lip as he studied the spadone sword on his back.
"Are you saying theft is legal?"
"Nah, but King Ethelred lives in Equesta, and that's awfully far from here."
"And the Earl of Chadwick? Doesn't he administer these lands on the king's behalf?"
"Archie Ballantyne?" The mention of his name brought chuckles from the other thieves. "Archie don't give a rat's arse what goes on with the common folk. He's too busy picking out what to wear." The man grinned, showing yellowed teeth that grew at odd angles.
"So now drop them swords and climb down. Afterward, you can walk up to Ballantyne Castle, knock on old Archie's door and see what he does."
Another round of laughter. "Now, unless you